many times has God told us to do something and we second guess it? You know, I don't know. You know, but now, sometimes when God tells us good things, yes. You know, we ask a lot of times about God's will and God, you know, when God asks us to do stuff, sometimes it's out of our comfort zone, and then we'll second guess God, we'll question God when it's outside our comfort zone. But whenever it's in our comfort zone, man, we never second guess God. You know, if it's about money, hey, someone wants to give you $1,000. Do you ever sit there and, well, let me pray about this before you give this to me. Let me see if this is God's will or not. Blessed I am. But when it's something that's outside of our comfort, I don't know, God. When it clearly states in His Word what we should be doing. So, man, I'm proud of you, dude. Keep it up. I believe that was encouraging for me. It encourages me to do the same thing. And it's kind of neat that today that's what we're talking about. You know, the whole week is all about being happy. This whole month is about being happy, not worrying, because who's in control? God's in control. We're not in control of this situation. Man, we're just out here. We're going to be a part of what God's already planned. You know, that's a great thing, ain't it? You know, that God's got our best interest at heart. And all we got to do is rest in the fact that God's going to take care of us. And He's going to work everything out for His good. When the enemy comes against us, guess what? God's got a better plan. God's going to take care of us. Man, I rest in that fact. And you know what? And I can sit there and say, don't worry, be happy. And I'm going to tell you, this week I've had to do that thing right there. I was like, man, I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry. I'm going to be happy. I'm not going to allow circumstances dictate my life. I'm not going to allow problems and negativity ruin my life. Because it's easy to do, ain't it? It's easy to take difficult circumstances, negativity, and it can just ruin your whole life. It can ruin the day, can it not? First thing in the morning, you know, man, wake up in the morning, man, with a house full like I've got, man, hot water does not last long. You know, you jump in a shower when you're still half asleep, and you turn it on, you're thinking it's hot, you jump in there, and that sucker's ice cold, let me tell you, you're already up. You ain't happy. Then you run to the bathroom, and there ain't no TP there. Because, man, and you can see what my crew does, instead of, they'll go into my bathroom, and they'll take my TP off my roller, and take it to their bathroom instead of just getting a new roll. You know, then you're sitting there, you're like, seriously? This day is not working out. Running to get you some coffee. And ain't no creamer. Man, the day's just starting out bad. And we sort of think that way, don't we? And we'll allow that day to dictate everything else that happens to us that day. Because we'll go to work. Man, it's just a terrible day. It's a bad day. It started off bad. It's going to end bad. And we run around with that kind of negativity in our thoughts, in our mind. And guess what we produce? Negativity in a bad day. Because we're already thinking it. And the thing is, God says, don't worry about it. Don't allow circumstances to discourage you. Because we live in a world right now, there's a lot of discouraging things out there, ain't it? I mean, this room ever been discouraged by doing anything. When it's down to it, maybe you feel like you're not good enough. You've never been told that. That God can never use you. You know, why do they get a promotion at their job when I do better at the job than they do? Why am I getting overlooked? Why can't I ever get ahead in life? You ever thought of that? Why is everybody else going to, you look on Facebook? And please understand that. Don't look at Facebook, all right, and look at other people's lives on Facebook and say, oh, man, their life is so good. Man, no one puts on Facebook, well, some people do, then you just delete them, because they'll be downers. But whenever someone puts on Facebook, their family, and they're out to eat and doing these different things, and all their kids are well behaved, and they're holding hands, and everybody's smiling and happy-go-lucky, man, it took them 20 takes just to get that one picture. All right? They're not living that way, I promise you. If everybody would live the way they said they did on Facebook, we would live in a good community. And if everybody was a believer and believed in their faith as much as they say they do on Facebook, there's no reason why Cleveland County should not be in revival right now. I'm just saying. So don't believe everything you see on Facebook, okay? And you're wondering why your life is not as good as everybody else's, or why your faith is not as strong as everybody else's. They're just putting that stuff out there because they're trying to speak it into existence, because they're going through the same amount of hell that you're going through on your daily basis. Right. All right? So if you got your Bibles, go with me. We're going to be, our main thing we'll look at 2 Corinthians is 7 verses 5 through 7, because I want to tell you something. We need encouragement, don't we? Who likes to be encouraged in life? Did you know our God's an encouraging God? Ain't he? I mean, you think about Jesus. He sees a woman at a well. Now, he could have told her, you're no good. You're a bad person. What does he do to her? He encourages her. He tells her, hey, listen here. If you'll drink from the well that I'm giving you, you'll never thirst again. He sees some lepers. Lepers are having a bad day. You think the lepers are ever encouraged in life? People are probably discouraging a leopard in a heartbeat, ain't they? Because the thing you have to be as a leopard, you have to walk into a community and you got to yell, guess what? Unclean, unclean. Is that a good thing to do when you walk into somewhere like walking to church? I'm unclean. Stanky over there. You know? But, so you think, they weren't happy when they walked into they probably didn't want to be around anybody because, I don't want to tell everybody I'm unclean. Everybody's going to look at me and be discouraged and not come around me because of the way I look, the way I smell. Because let me tell you something. If you got leprosy, you stink. All right, you stink bad because your skin is rotting away. It's like the Walking Dead, okay? They didn't look good. They were missing fingers, no pun intended, Isaac. But, Isaac's not a leper, okay, y'all? He's not a leper. He's just missing a finger in this fridge. He says he'll get it back one day when the technology advances, and they can just put it back on. He said that's why he's saving it for that day, so he'll be whole again. Because it feels incomplete. Because he's only got 9.5 fingers, and he really wants 10 fingers. So it's okay. It's okay, Isaac. We got you. Hey. Okay. Anyway, 2 Corinthians, verse 7, 5 to 12. It says, For when we came into Macedonia, now this is Paul speaking, okay? He says, for when we came into Macedonia, this body of ours had no rest. But we were harassed at every turn. Can anybody relate to that? I lost my place. But we were harassed at every turn. Conflicts on the outside, fear with on the inside. Man, how many of us have been going through some conflict in our life? Some troubles. And it seems like when you're going through conflict in your life and you're going through troubles, what sets up on the inside of you? Fear, don't it? Fear, anger. Man, is this going to work out? Oh man, how's this going to happen? What's going to end up happening here? But have you ever noticed something? If you'll stop and reflect about some bad situations in your life, did you not get through it? And you're going to get through it again. So that's why we get to say, don't worry, be happy. Because if God got you through something in the past, do you think He's going to leave you now? No, because Jesus never lies. Because if he lies one time, then we can take this Bible and we can throw it out. We have no assurance in our faith. But He says, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. And that's a great thing that we have as believers. That's why believers can sit there and say, if you're a non-believer and you've not accepted Jesus in your life or received Jesus in your life, turn your life over to Him, then you have a lot to worry about. Man, life is hard. But the great thing is, when life hits, as a believer, you get to sit back and say, don't worry. Be happy now. Anyway, all right. I like that song. I think I was the only one who hit. Something made millions off a stupid song. Man. Hey, real quick, Danny and Angel, if you're watching this, and we want to send a congratulations out to Manny Pacquiao for winning last night for his final fight. But again, remember, if you know anybody that knows Manny Pacquiao, I would sure love to meet him. Okay? And we're hoping you guys are having a great time in the Philippines, and we're praying for you guys. All right. But God who confronts the downcast and comfort us by coming of Titus. For when we came into Macedonia, this body of ours had no rest, but we were harassed at every turn. Conflicts on the outside and fear within the end. But God, who comforts the downcast, comforted us. So who does God comfort? The downcast, the discouraged ones. If you're discouraged, guess what God's going to do? He's going to comfort you. He's going to encourage you. But you see right here, it says He used somebody else. He used Titus. See, that's the great thing about our God, is that we get to partner with Him on things. Now, did God need Brent to heal that guy's tooth? No. Remember, in the very beginning, God spoke and there it was. But God chose to use Brent. So this should be like think about it, man. It's like you're that kid that never gets picked in the ball game, pick me, and the last one gets picked, you know what I mean? You're like, and at the end of it, you're still sitting there and they go, take him. But it's going to be uneven. Oh, it's okay. Well, you know what I mean? You're that kid. You know, you're like, all right. But now, guess what? You give me that kid that's no one picks, that God looks at and says, out of 1 billion people on this planet, says, you, Brent. Me? Yeah. I'm going to use you today to show my glory to someone else. Even though this might have been a believer. But you don't know what that believer was going through. Because again, as believers, do we not go through hard times? Yes. I mean, you hear Paul right here. Now, Paul's a believer. I would never question if Paul's a believer or not. And Paul's going through a situation where he says, man, we've had hard times. Everywhere we turn, it's discomfort. Hard times. Even fear has set up on the inside of us. But you know what? God, the one that comforts those that are discouraged, he sent my brother to encourage us. So you don't know what this guy was going through at Southward. He had no idea. He could have been going through problems at home. He'd been going through health problems, whatever. Say, God, are you really there? Do you really care about me? And here comes a man that says, I don't know, God, if I should say this. I know I should because your word says it. I don't know if I can. But something comes up in him and says, hey, can I pray for you? Yeah. It's truth, I tell you, you're healed. Thanks, man. And the pain goes away. Do you not think that he probably told a lot more people? That one guy probably, man, you don't believe this. God healed my tooth. So see, you think of like a rock. You drop it in the water. One little more rock makes one little splash, but what happens? It just ripples effects out there. So just because that one act of obedience that Brent did at Southwire, where thousands of employees are at, you have no idea the ripple effect that it caused. And God said and said, Brent, I want to use you to encourage this man and heal this man. See, God wants to use each and every one of us. Because that's how our God works. He uses people to encourage other people. So I want to give you 3 things this morning because, again, if God's an encouraging God, if that's what God does for you and me, because again, like Brent said, it's not because of how good I am, but it's because of how good He is. Ephesians says what? We're saved by what? By grace and grace alone. We're not saved by our works because if we were, then we could brag and boast about it. So we're saved by His grace. Not because we're good, but because He's good. You see that now? So, again, how many times have you been discouraged and thought you're no good, and someone else comes alongside of you and just says one good word of encouragement, and it brightens your day? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can tell a woman, man, you look good today. I like your outfit. Man, next thing you know, she's like, she'll be all butt tooth and everything. I look good. Why? Because I've been told I look good. But I'm just saying, true. Man, you're the same way. If when someone encourages you, compliments you, it builds something up in you, does it not? You feel good about yourself. I've created some beasts out of Johnny Carson because I'm like, man, y'all are getting big, and now they're walking around. Carson's like measuring himself. Same size arms I got now. I'm like, dang, dude. I'm going to work out arms every day now just to surpass him, because he walks by me. But again, the thing is, though, when someone speaks a word of encouragement to us, it does something to us, does it not? You can be going through a bad day, and you can get someone to say, hey, God loves you. Hey, I love you. Hey, you're going to get through this today. You're doing a great job at work. You never get to know. Someone walks up to you at your job and says, hey, you did an excellent job. Does it not put a smile on your face? And the rest of your day, you're like, man, I got this. How about when you're a wife, husbands? You ever hear when your wife looks at you and says something nice about you? I know it's seldom, ain't it, guys? Usually there's nagging. Then when she goes, you did such a good job. Yes. Because it's so far, you really hear it. But it does. It's good, ain't it? Encouragement is good. Because we live in a world of a lot of discouragement. Because the voice of discouragement is everywhere, ain't it? Satan's always trying to discourage us. So 3 things I want to look at this morning is the ways that I believe that we can be an encouragement to other people, and that we can change this community, and we can change this church if we'll ever get a hold of this. Because encouraging is very spiritual. It's very much what God does. Because again, if God's a God of encouraging, should we be a people of encouragement? If we're supposed to reflect Him. So if you'll go with me real quick, first thing we're going to be in Hebrews 3:13. Hebrews 3:13. You got that up there? It says, but exhort one another daily, while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of your sin. But exhort one another. Now, one translation says but encourage one another. When should we encourage one another? When should we exhort one another? When? Do what now? Daily. Okay, I was making sure I'm reading the same thing. It says, but we should exhort one another daily, while it's called today. Lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. Because discouragement can harden us. Discouragement can make us lead away and turn to sin. But encouragement can build us up. So the very first thing we need to learn to do is encourage each other daily. We should be a people that's encouraging everyone on a daily basis. Not just every once in a while, but every day we should live our life encouraging people. Because right here, Paul says, I want you to encourage one another daily while it's still called today. Because you know why? You know what the enemy's doing on a daily basis? Discouraging people. Coming against people. Telling people you're not good enough. Telling people your failures. And when you make a mistake. Because again, do you still make mistakes? I do. And it's funny. As soon as I make a mistake, guess what comes up? The enemy. He says something to me. I thought you was a believer. To discourage me. How about life? Does he know life sucks sometimes? Yeah. And the reason why? Because Adam and Eve in the first. Because when sin came into the world, life became hard. So we live in a fallen world where there is sin, there is life. And you remember the old saying? It happens. Life happens. But the thing is, as believers, we got to hope in something better. Guess what? We got to hope in a reward that this life is temporary. Then we also got to hope that, guess what? Our God's for us and not against us. Just because the enemy means to destroy us, God's going to build us up and God's going to turn around and use it for His good. So when life happens, what does the enemy do? He says, where's your God at now? I thought God's supposed to protect you. Now, God never said you're going to have everything's going to be honky-dory in your life. He promised you He'll always be with you in your life. All right? And when you get that revelation right there, you get to walk around and say, don't worry, be happy now. Because regardless what life brings at you, you got the peace and the assurance that God is for you. And if God be for you, then who could be against you? You can't look at, I know today's time we think that we're supposed to have our best life now. All right, in Christianity, you get saved, nothing's going to happen to you. Then you're not reading this book. All right, Paul is writing a letter. All right, and then who knows who wrote Hebrews? We don't even know who that author is. But he's telling us, hey, exhort each other daily. Now these people right now, they're not having a good time in life. You know, they're being in prison, beaten. Everything's, you think they're like, hey, lost another one. Let's keep going. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, look. You see, there's Isaac hanging on the cross. I guess they called him last night. It's like, man, there was all kinds of trouble around them. As Paul says to the church of Corinth, man, there's trouble all around us. Because Paul was hiding. He was trying to be in prison. So their life hit them hard too. But the thing is, though, when discomfort and discouragement comes, Paul assures us in one thing, guess what? Our God will comfort us. But the thing is, right here, the author of Hebrews says, I want you guys to encourage each other daily. Daily. So you don't be deceived by sin. Because the enemy is always trying to deceive us. See? You lost your job. Well, maybe you lost that job because God's got something better for you. Maybe if you turn your attitude towards God instead of towards your circumstance, things will work out. Because life, can I tell you something? Until you step into eternity, life is going to be hard. It's going to be bumpy. But the thing is, you have a God that is for you. He's not against you. As believers, we get arrested in that fact. Not to worry, but be happy. Go to the other part of Hebrews real quick. Let us hold fast to the profession of our faith without wavering. Don't waver. For he is faithful, that promised. Who's faithful? Jesus, God. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to do good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some, but exhorting who? One another, and so much the more as we see the day approaching. What day approaching? The end. Does anybody know when the end's coming? No. So when are we supposed to exhort one another? Until the end. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't be like the heathens out there in the world that's always being Debbie Downers, negative Nellies, discouraging people, trying to put people down to put themselves up. Don't be like them people. I want you to exhort one another. I want you to encourage one another. Build each other up. That's why it's so important. That's why we're always pushing life groups here. Why? Because in life groups, guess what happens in life groups? You get encouraged. Because again, we live in a world that's full of discouragement. And people need encouraging. Don't you need encouraging? Do you like being encouraged? So just look around. Everybody's nodding their head yes. Right there. How about we also encourage one another, and when we know one that needs encouragement because we've encouraging one another. And again, when you encourage somebody, and you believe in somebody, they can do the impossible. Just imagine that. The thing is, the church has done for so long is we always try to find the bad in people.
Right.
Let me find the sin that you're doing. So I can put you down because you're not ready yet. Well, because you're still dealing with that. Well, are you ready yet either? Because you're still dealing with that. Oh. But instead of saying, hey, you know what? I believe in you. God believes in you. I see the good in you. Let me help you along the way. Are you struggling this area here? Well, instead of you struggling, because again, you know what struggling means? If I'm struggling to get out of water, I would hope someone would help me, wouldn't you? You know, if I'm in the water and I'm drowning, I'm struggling, and you just walk by me, sucks for you. Dude, help me roll out. Throw me a rope. Do something. Well, why don't we do that to people in our own faith? We see somebody struggling, throw a rope. Help them out. Second thing is, so the first thing we should do is what? Encourage people when? Daily. The second thing is, encourage people spiritually. Go ahead and hit that one for me. It's in Romans. Well, he's getting, man, hold on. Caffeine break. Liquid Holy Ghost. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation, Pepsi Max. Maybe Pepsi catch this and send us some money. And all right, it says, always asking in my prayers that if it is somehow in God's will, I may now at last succeed in coming to you. This is Paul writing to the church in Romans. For I want very much to see you, that I may impart to you some spiritual gift to strengthen you. That is to be mutually encouraged by each other's faith, both yours and mine. So you see right there, when we encourage people, it not only builds other people up, but it also builds up you. Because right there, when Brent prayed for him, did that not encourage that guy? Yeah. But you know what it also did for Brent? It built him up. It encouraged him. He's like, man, I got this. Heck yeah. So the next time he sees someone, you know what he's going to do? Oh, I got this. Speaking to that mountain to be removed. When we encourage people, encourage them spiritually. It's, you know how simple it is? It's just like this. You see someone doing something, because again, man, if anybody's in the ministry or does anything for God, the Satan really does like to discourage you doing anything for God, does he not?
Oh, yeah.
If you're doing music, if you're praying for people, like if you're doing anything, man, I'm telling you right now, you start to preach, you will go through just some discouragement. The enemy's always out to get in your head. This past Friday night, instead of a recovery, before, man, it was just coming against a lot of things. But life happened. The enemy didn't cause it to happen. Life caused it to happen. But the enemy starts to come into your mind. That's where he attacks you. So I said, no, let's go pray. Because the thing is, when you're doing anything, Satan starts to twirl with your mind. Twirls with it. I mean, you got to cast that crap down. Mm-hmm. You got to cast it down. And you tell people, man, God's using you. You did a good job. Man, there was power in that. I believe God's going to bless you. What does that do for you? It does something. It builds them up, don't it? But it builds you up too. Because again, if you're always sowing positivity and blessings to people, guess what you're going to reap? Blessings. Because you do, whatever you sow, you will reap. If you sow negativity, guess what you'll reap? Negativity. If you sow negativity in other people's lives, guess what you're going to reap in your own life? Negativity. But if you sow positivity to other people, encouragement to other people, guess what's going to, in return, come to you? Encouragement. Because God's seeing you doing it for other people, you know what's going to happen? Someone's going to start doing it to you.
Preach it, brother.
But you got to do it yourself.
That's right.
And I'm going to tell you something. As believers, there's so many people that are hurting because, again, if the enemy comes in and says what? He reminds you of your past. Yep. He reminds you of your sin. He reminds you of what you did maybe 10 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. And that's why all this is happening in your life. Because what you did 30 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, or hey, you forgot to pay your tithes. You didn't pay your tithes. So guess what? God's going to take it anyway, and he rips you out and something. And it's Satan messing with your mind. Mm-hmm. But when you come and say, hey, can I tell you something? Yeah. You got this. How can you tell me I got this? Because God said he's for you, not against you. I believe in you. God's called you into the ministry. I see the fruits in your life. God's going to bless you. God's going to open up more doors for you. Hey, just because this door's shut, God's got a better door if it's open up for you. Just keep the faith. Be faithful. Don't be deceived by sin. Don't be deceived by the lies of the enemy. Because the enemy's come to do one thing and only, and that's to steal, kill, and destroy. He's the father of all lies. But my God came that we might have life and life more abundantly.
That's right.
Man, think about that right there for a second. That gives me the opportunity to say, I'm not going to worry, but I'm going to be happy.
That's right.
So we need to start encouraging people, not only daily, but spiritually. Yes. Because the enemy's always trying to tear people down, saying you cannot make it. So I've met a lot of young ministers. I've been doing this for almost 17 years. A lot of young ministers come up, and they say, I can't do that because, guys, I messed up. Well, man, join the club. Mm-hmm. We've all messed up. God uses jacked up people. Read your Bible. Well, man, so-and-so. Well, obviously they're not reading your Bible. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to anyone who's speaking negativity in your life. Listen to someone that's going to encourage you. Right here, that's what it says. Encourage them, exhort them. Why? Man, because life is hard.
Yes.
If the world's always sowing discouragement, the Satan's always sowing discouragement, the church sure in heck doesn't need to be doing it.
That's right.
We should be sowing encouragement to one another. Because again, it's real easy to find out the faults in everybody's life. Yep. We can have a fault contest right now. You know what I mean? We can all sit here and say, hey, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing that wrong. I done that. I did that. I'm doing that. I did that. I'm struggling here. I'm struggling. Yeah, me too. But let's keep going. Because that's what God said. Keep going. Peter screws up countless of times. And he says, even to the point that Jesus looks at Peter and says, Peter, man, Satan is going to sift you tonight. He's going to sift you tonight. Hallelujah. But don't worry, Peter. I'm praying for you. Just like I said last week, man, we got something great. It's that we got a God that's interceding for you and me. Man, that's awesome right there to know that our God's in heaven right now interceding on our behalf. He sees what we're going through. And he's telling us, I see what you're going through, but keep the faith. Keep your eyes on me because I'm praying for you. And you got this. The promised land is just right around the corner. Just keep going. You got this. But he's asking us as believers to spur each other on with encouragement on a daily basis. But also spiritually also. Because a lot of times in the spirit realm, our spirit man gets defeated because we don't feel like we're adequate enough. Good news for you this morning. Ain't none of you adequate enough. He was. He was. He is. It's all about him. He just says, I'll use you to show my glory. The third and last thing is to encourage yourself. We encourage other people. We encourage people spiritually, but also encourage yourself. There's something about encouraging yourself. He says, how is that biblical? Go with me real quick to Samuel. Now right here, this story right here, this is David. David is running. David's scared. And this is, remember again, right? This is the guy that was anointed by God to be king. God anointed him as a child to be a king. Now, don't you think if anybody, he should be walking around, man, he has a hard life. He's running at this time, hiding out at this time. And look what he says. David was in a difficult position. So you think you're better than David? You can't be in a difficult position? All right. So David's in a difficult position because the troops talked about stoning him. And y'all, is anybody out to kill you? Anybody in this room got someone out to kill you right now? As you're leaving here, someone's waiting on to shoot you down and kill you. So obviously he ain't got as bad as this guy does. I said, so they're out to stone him, man. And that's got to suck. He said, but they're out to stone him, for they were all very bitter over the loss of their sons and daughters. But David found strength in the Lord, his God. So where did David find strength at? Lord, his God. Sometimes you got to encourage yourself. Because again, life throws some curveballs at us, don't it? It's discouraged. We get discouraged easily. And sometimes we don't have those people around us encouraging us. Even though the ones that sometimes should be encouraging are discouraging us. So sometimes, you know what we got to do? We just got to get a long beer by ourselves and just pray to God. And seek him first. And you know what happens? He starts to encourage us. But you can tell you how he encourages us? By us getting in his word. If you want to be encouraged, get in God's word. Memorize scripture. Chew this up. Like the psalmist said, man, it's like a hidden treasure here. Seek it out. Grab a hold of this word here on every one of God's promises. Because like we said a minute ago, he's no one to lie. He cannot lie. But if you start reading this right here, man, who could be against me? God's for me. Wow. Those ain't just something, God before me. Who could be? Man, that's something to hold on to. So when you're going through things, that's what David's doing right now. Man, read some of the Psalms. They're just poems to God. From David telling, man, you're my strong tower. Who else would I run to when I'm afraid? Strengthen me, God. Hide me, God. Encourage me, God. So David finds all kinds of encouragement just in God himself. He's asking God for strength. He's asking God for help. So guess what you get to do? The same thing. And how you do that? You get along with God. You can't be just walking by, oh, God before we can be. No. You need to get along with God. Because again, he is God. He's not a figment of our imagination. He's not a hope that maybe God's real. No, God's real. And he's so real that we get to go to him and talk to him. And the thing is, he knows every situation that we're already going through. He just wants us to come to him and say, God, I need your help right now. And I don't know about you, man. When I'm going through hard times, struggles, discouragement, you know what I do? I just get alone. I'll put on some worship music. And I just start to worship. You know what happens? A peace comes over me. That's why Paul says, it's a peace that passes every bit of understanding. You know why? Because who can understand it? No one can. Because like, man, you got peace in the situation. Yeah, why? I don't know, because God's got this. Because God's in control. So I get to be happy. I don't have to worry about it. Because God has got this. Because again, if sickness comes, I know that God's my healer. The thing is also, it's not my job to provide for my family. Did you know that? That's God's job. Because his name is Jehovah Jireh, which means he's our provider. So if I just do what God told me to do, he'll take care of the rest. Man, ain't that peace? How about maybe you got some lost loved ones? Maybe spouses that are lost? You're discouraged? Does God want that? No, because he says, Jesus says, I wish that no man perishes, but everyone come to repentance. So if you're lost, if your loved one is lost, and maybe you just quit nagging them to death and start praying for them. If you would pray for them as much as you nag them, maybe we might see some things take place. Think about that. If you would pray as much as you want a promotion in your job or providing in your family as you do complaining about the situation, more people complain than they do pray. Think about that for a second. You get around some believers like, oh my God, would you shut up? You don't believe that book because you're sitting there like, man, life's that bad. You're a believer. I don't want to hear. I don't want to do that crap right there. Dang, that's not faith. Do you know it's impossible to please God without faith? You know where faith comes from? From the Word of God. That's where faith comes from. So how are you going to get faith without reading this book? You can't. So there's no way you can build your faith up without reading this book. There's no way you can build other people's faith up without reading this book. When I'm talking about reading the book, I'm talking digesting, chewing on this book, reading this book, memorizing this book, putting it in your heart. I'll tell you something. When you start doing that, you'll be an encouragement to other people and you'll be an encouragement to yourself. Just like one of our mottos here. We want to build people. If we grow people, this church grows. We want to be the people that builds people. Why? Because everybody has a purpose in life, don't they? God has a purpose. Did you know before you were ever formed in your mother's womb, God knew you, had a plan for your life, and a purpose for your life? The problem is the enemies come in and discourage you from that plan and purpose. So it's our job as believers to come alongside of you and encourage you in that, help you find that purpose, to stir you on to that purpose. Just imagine for a second. Imagine the possibilities if the church started doing that. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that? Who wouldn't want to be a part of that? How about your job? Who wouldn't want to be around someone that's always encouraging them and building them up, helping them on their way? Instead of always about building yourself up, how about we start building up other people, encouraging other people? Because again, just remember, as believers, who's the one that appoints kings and rulers of the earth? God. So if you're always worried about your job or in your position in church or wherever it is you're at, that you want to be the head honcho and you want your ministry or your position in your job to be noticed, well, you know what's the first way to do that? Humble yourself to the point that you start building someone else up. Someone else's ministry up. Humble yourself or you start building someone else's position in that job. Promoting that person in your job. Promote your wife, your husband, and watch God promote you. Think about that for a second. If time promotion comes up, I think you'd be good at this. Hey, let me help you. You want that job? You want that? You need that? Hey, let me help you get there. Hey, man, Ronnie's awesome. Man, Ronnie, he's good. You need Ronnie up there. You need Ronnie doing that. You need him there. But Jamie, man, Ronnie's going to take your position. No, Ronnie can't take nothing God's given me. You see that? There's nothing God, Ronnie can't take it. No one can take something God gives me. You can't take what God's put in me. You can't take God's gifts from me. You can't take God's promises from me. His promises are everlasting. His gifts are everlasting. Man, you're not bigger than God. I ain't worried about you. Why? Because I know who my God is. So I can say, I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to be happy. And I'm going to encourage him. Because maybe Ronnie's not a believer. Ronnie sees, Jim, why do you always encourage me? Why don't you tell them to give me that position in that job and not yourself? Because right now, you really need it because you're a single dad. And this position will be really good for you, because if you get this position right here, you'll be able to be at home at nighttime with your daughter, because this job right here is only going to be daytime, and he's going to be making more money, going to provide more for your daughter. It's going to be a good thing. But what about, it's all right, Ron, my God's got me. You know what God says? I got you, big boy. I got you. I got you. I got you. See, I was building someone else up. Just imagine for a second, if we did that as a church body, inside the church, we started building each other's ministries up. It'd be like Heidi says, I play on Wednesday night. I play on Wednesday nights and Friday nights. Hey, tell me you're doing a great job. Oh, you're doing a great job. Hey, yeah, man, blah, 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 blah. It's just constant. It's this way like, oh, y'all are sick. Y'all talk. But you know what you see in churches, not here, but in general? You see position fighters, jealousy. That doesn't come from God, it comes from Satan. Like everybody starts saying, hey, I'm going to encourage you in your ministry. Hey, man, Nikki, you're doing a great job with kids. You and James are doing a great job with it. Keep up the good work. Keep it up. Man, son, I love what you're doing with the children on Sunday mornings. Man, you're doing a great job. Man, this is building her up. Building everybody else up. And allow God to build you up. Same thing out there in the community. Y'all, we do that. You build others up, encourage others up, encourage other people. God encourage you. Promise you. Because He's an encouraging God. He's not discouraging. Father, we just thank you, God, so much. We thank you for your word. God, we thank you that you're an encouraging God. Even in our discomfort, even in our lows, when we feel like we're not adequate enough, you're still there. You're still interceding for us. You're praying for us. You're encouraging us to keep the faith. Because your word said whatever you start, you finish it. You're patient. Because you're the potter. You're the one that takes this clay and you mold it into what you want it to be. God, we rest in the fact that you're sovereign. We rest in the fact that you call us sons and daughters. And that absolutely nothing can come against us. That you have a hedge of protection around us. Because you're a good God. And you're a loving God. Because you said, if we're in you, there's no condemnation. That you've taken our sins and you cast them as far as east from the west, and you don't remember them no more. But again, this morning I want to say this. As a believer, as a born-again believer, we have that assurance that there's no condemnation in us when we fall short. We have the peace that God's for us. He's not against us. We have the peace that He's got a hedge of protection around us. But the thing is, if we're not a believer, we've not given our lives to Jesus, we've not surrendered, then we don't have that protection. We are condemned. And there is condemnation on us. But until we're taken by His hand and washed and cleansed by His blood, we'll never be happy. We'll always worry. So this morning, As Taylor sings, if that's you this morning, say, man, Jenna, I'm not a believer. I don't know Jesus. I need Jesus in my life. I need to be born again. Because, man, life is tough. And I'm discouraged. And I don't think I'm good enough. I need Jesus in my life. As Taylor sings this morning, we're going to invite you to come on over to this altar. But if you're in this room, you say, man, Jenna, I've had a rough week. The enemy has discouraged me. I don't feel like I can make it. I feel like God's mad at me. Friend, can I tell you something this morning? That's the furthest thing from the truth. God is not mad at you. God is for you. He is not against you. You say, I just need prayer. I just need somebody to pray for me. So I'm just going through things right now. I need some decisions I need to make. Maybe it's healing in your body. Say, I'm just sick right now. I feel broken. I just need God's healing touch in my life. If that's you this morning, I'm going to invite you up here to this altar for anything. You need prayer for anything. For salvation, to healing, to peace, whatever it is. Instead of sings, it's open. Come. Father, we thank you.